Hey folks, I'm Michael and welcome back to the channel. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for your daily dose of awful stories. Let's dive into the first post made in the relationship subreddit titled, "How do I handle my boyfriend getting me nothing for Christmas? My boyfriend, 34M, and I, 34F, have been together for a year and a half. We're very serious and have discussed marriage and children. We didn't get each other gifts for Christmas last year, and that's mainly because he didn't mention anything, so I assumed he wasn't getting me anything, and I was right. But now we live together with my two kids from my previous marriage, and they love him. For Christmas, I bought him tickets to one of his favorite comedians, great seats, which were about $400 total. I told him 3 weeks ago when I bought them that I got him something really good and he was going to be so excited. I must have mentioned it at least 3 times. Money is also tight right now. For me, not him. But I wanted to do something nice for him. So today, Christmas morning, I give my kids all of their gifts, then hand him his, and he is shocked when he opens it. Then he tries to save himself and tells me a sweater he bought me on his business trip 3 weeks ago was my early gift. I'm not an idiot. I held it together for the kids, but while they were in another room, I started sobbing. I do so much for everyone and got not a single gift for Christmas from anyone. It was so hurtful. He could have even taken the kids to a store like Target to pick something cheap out for me, and I would have been happy. He clearly felt bad and was hugging me and apologizing, but now I'm starting to rethink my entire relationship. How do I handle this situation? Reading OP's story tugs at my heartstrings because I've been in relationships where one-sided effort on big days like Christmas left me questioning if I was truly seen, even when everything else seemed solid on paper. At 34, blending lives with kids and talking marriage, it's no surprise she's sobbing and rethinking it all, pouring $400 into thoughtful tickets despite tight money, hyping it up repeatedly, only to get a lame business trip sweater excuse feels like a slap of invisibility that no apology hug can erase right away. If this were me, I'd feel gutted and undervalued, like I'd laid my heart out while he barely showed up, especially with her kids loving him and the family dynamic at stake. That pattern from last year's no gifts repeat would spike every doubt. I give everything, but does he even notice or care enough to plan ahead? It's not dramatic to hurt this deep. Emotions don't bow to "it's just a gift," and the lack of proactive thought screams mismatched priorities over any price tag. What I do is hold space for the raw feelings first, then talk it out calmly away from the kids. I went all in to make you happy because I love you, but getting nothing back made me feel alone in our own home. Effort matters more than money. Even something small with the kids would have shown I'm on your mind. His guilt and hugs are a start, but watch if he steps up with real amends and future follow-through. If it's just words or deflection, that's the real red flag. She's wise to pause on the big commitments now. Better to address this giver-taker imbalance early than resent it forever, no matter how good he is otherwise. Relationships thrive on mutual celebration, not one person carrying the load. The second story for today was made in the AIO subreddit. The post is titled, "My mother has faked being paralyzed for 8 years. I, 36F, went 13 years without speaking to my mother. My childhood was extremely traumatic, marked by abuse and neglect. My mother gave birth to me when she was 17, and for reasons I never understood, she never showed any real interest in being a parent. She wasn't loving or affectionate, nor did she offer even the basics of care. When I was 3, she had a brief relationship with a drug addict and became pregnant. Before my half-brother was born, she met another man whom she married quickly. My half-sister was born soon after. During this marriage, my new father figure regularly beat me and his son abused me. After the marriage fell apart, my mother, my siblings, and I moved in with yet another man. Her second marriage brought no relief. The violence, abuse, and neglect continued. We were often starved, locked in bedrooms, and beaten. Frequent evictions meant we were constantly moving from house to house, and I was forced to change schools repeatedly. At each new school, I faced relentless bullying, my clothes smelled, my hair was messy and infested with lice, and I had no idea how to make friends. As I turned 13, she became pregnant with twins, and I quickly found myself being kept out of school to help care for them. I thought the new babies would finally make her maternal instincts kick in, especially as she went through numerous rounds of in vitro fertilization to get pregnant in the first place after having her tubes tied with her last pregnancy. Unfortunately, this didn't happen. Her neglect continued with the twins, although to a lesser extent. I protected them as much as I could, and I became their main caregiver. With my newfound responsibility came newfound fight, and I finally started to stick up for myself, which led to me being kicked out and homeless at 15. I finally cut all contact after having my own child at 23 when I just couldn't take her behavior anymore. My siblings refused to talk to me, mainly because she had manipulated them all into not talking to me. Fast forward 13 years, and after a decade of searching, I used genealogy websites to find my birth father, childishly hoping for a happy ending, I suppose. And through Facebook, I realized that they had been in contact with each other all along. I reached out to her searching for answers and, of course, got a barrage of abuse and lies in return. I reached out to my birth father afterwards and found out he had spent most of his life in and out of prison and with various addictions, and I have 4 other half-siblings. I left it for a few months and then reached out to her again. I asked if she knew he was my birth father, and she said she had an idea. Then comes the real mindbender. She was nice to me, she admitted being a horrible mother, and said she wanted to keep contact with me. I agreed to try, but kept her at a distance, only talking on WhatsApp messages. She told me she had had an accident 8 years prior, damaged her spine, and was paralyzed from the waist down, relying on an electric wheelchair. She had also divorced and remarried again and moved from London to Manchester with the twins, who are now in their 20s. A few months later, I got a call from my half-sister. This was the first time I had spoken to her in 13 years. She said our mum had overdosed and was on life support. They didn't know if she would make it. I agreed to travel the 4 hours to Manchester with her to see mum. She was indeed on life support. Walking into the intensive care unit and seeing this woman, my abuser, my tormentor, on life support was horrific. I didn't know what or how to feel. The nurse encouraged me to hold her hand and speak to her, and I did, because that's what you're supposed to do in these situations, right? I felt like a fraud, and I felt that I had betrayed myself. Anyway, as I'm pretending to care about whether or not she lives, I notice her legs twitching. I asked the nurse if that was normal for someone who is paralyzed, but she didn't really say whether it was or wasn't. When it came time to bring her off the ventilator, they removed her catheter at the same time, and while still unconscious, she reacted to that too. I spent 2 days in Manchester, and when it became clear that she wasn't permanently brain damaged and would make a full recovery, I quick-stepped it back to my home, husband, and our gorgeous children before she could wake up. She did wake up, and my sister sent me regular updates. It turns out she had taken an overdose of her prescribed morphine medication because her current husband had told her he was leaving her. Whilst in the hospital, she had physiotherapy on her legs, and the consultants had advised my sister, her next of kin, as the husband had done a runner while she was comatose, that there is no reason why she can't walk, and she is not paralyzed at all. Shock, horror. My mother had lied. Coincidentally, her initial accident had come at a time when her husband had had enough of her nonsense, living in squalor and her alcohol abuse. She was released from the hospital back to her house and immediately resumed her life in her electric wheelchair, insisting she couldn't walk. A few days later, she had a nervous breakdown, and my sister sent me some doorbell footage of her answering the door to the at-home mental health team. She was clearly walking in the footage. I'm guessing she could walk the whole time and has literally just lied this whole time. What aggravates me more though is that she was claiming benefits, has an adapted car paid for by the government, and has had £75,000 worth of adaptations made to her council house because she can't walk. I am so tempted to out her publicly. She has lied to her friends, family, the government, benefits people, the National Health Service. Am I overreacting, or would this be petty revenge for my childhood? Patafa said, not overreacting. I am sorry you went through all of that. I sincerely think that you should just keep living the good life you've crafted for yourself and keep as far away from your mother as possible. Exposing her is also just exposing yourself to her further manipulation, and your best revenge is to continue to be as unlike her as possible and be the best wife and mother you can be. You've already won this war. Be proud of yourself. Lost Ad said, reading your story made me so emotional, and I just stared at my daughter and still can't believe your childhood is normal for so many kids. God bless you, and I'm so sorry you went through all that. I hope life is treating you better. I say cut contact with this woman. There is absolutely no reason for you to keep in contact with her. I wouldn't report her, but if that's what you really want to do, then do it. This third and final story was made in the advice subreddit. The post is titled, "My girlfriend smells and I don't know what to do." We've been together for 5 years and not once has she really had a hygiene related problem that was significant enough for me to comment on until just last week. Out of nowhere, I got smacked in the face by a horrible, rotten smell when she hugged me. I didn't even think it was her at first. I honestly thought I might have forgotten to wash my hands after using the bathroom or something, so I went and tidied up. Then we went out to get some groceries and I got a waft of the same smell while shopping. I finally realized that it was coming from her and I could smell it from about 3 feet away. I could not believe it. Absolutely rank. I had to tell her. Some of you might say I'm a jerk for that or how dare you and so on. I don't really care. I'd want someone to tell me if I smelled like something died. I did it in the nicest way that I possibly could and she actually took it well. She showered when we got home, brushed her teeth and so on. Yeah, that didn't help. The thing is, this isn't even really hygienic per se. She showers every day, has a hygiene routine and everything. It's not external dirtiness. It's literally coming from inside her. When she sweats even just a little bit when we're in bed or when she gets home from work where she's been up and about all day, I am hit with these offensive wafts that smell like literal diarrhea. I'm not even trying to be mean. The smell is so putrid and repulsive, it literally makes me wince and want to puke. The worst part is, her breath has the same smell, even after brushing her teeth. This makes me think it's health related somehow. I don't think I've heard of this being a symptom of anything before, but honestly, what else would it be? Totally random. It has never happened even once. I just don't understand. She has smelled like this for almost 2 weeks straight, and honestly, the part that worries me most, aside from it being health related, is that she doesn't even seem to notice it. I can guarantee with certainty that her co-workers and friends certainly do. It just sucks. I am finding myself avoiding being in close proximity to her, and I don't want to make her feel bad. What do I do? Anyone know why she smells? Does she need to see a doctor? First update, a minor one, but since so many people are interested, I'll gladly honor that in light of all of your help. I broke it to her and put the pressure on. She took it pretty well. She has an appointment with a primary care physician this coming Monday, and we are getting her scheduled with a dentist the same week. Wish us luck.